Hey everybody, welcome back to Cool's Book Reviews. This week we are checking out something a little bit different as we check out the graphic novel Road to Perdition. This might be something that you guys are familiar with, at least in its actual movie form, as it was made into a movie starring Tom Hanks, Paul Newman, and Jude Law, as you can see there. It's actually a pretty good movie. We'll have to talk about it sometime. But yeah, today, we had a free week, so I figured, why not? Let's check out something a little bit different, So let's get into this. So right off the bat, you can see the original graphic novel that inspired the major motion picture. And speaking of the motion picture, right here, obviously, you see Tom Hanks on the cover. So clearly, this is an edition that came out around the time the movie was released. And then right here, we just see the title, Road to Perdition, written by Allan Collins. And then art by Richard Pierce Rayner. On the side, you can see Pocketbook's graphic novel. You can see the title there. There was a sticker when I bought it, so unfortunately there's still some residue from that. And then the cover picture again with Hanks. And then right here you just see Allan Collins. On the back you can see some praise, as well as kind of describing what's going on here. And then you get obviously that motion picture. And at the bottom, yes, you can see they have that DC Comics logo. And then right there is the ISBN if you need it. So this one does clock in at 302 pages. And because it is a graphic novel, you can see tons of great artwork. And we will talk about the artwork here shortly, but just wanted to kind of showcase what it looks like. Now at the beginning, there's actually an introduction by Allan Collins. Right here you can see it's actually quite a few pages, but it's quite interesting. I do recommend reading that. And it just kind of gives you some background as far as the process into making Road to Perdition and how much work actually went into making this graphic novel. So this is kind of split up into 3 different parts, or I guess in this case we could call them acts. Now this story revolves around Michael Sullivan, who's called the Angel of Death. He is a hitman that works for the Looney family, but at the same time he has worked for other mafia families throughout, Chicago and stuff during Prohibition. Now, unfortunately, one night when Michael's out working, his young son, Michael, sneaks along and unfortunately witnesses a murder done by Looney's son, which Michael Sr. is present for. Now, Looney's son sees some movement, and they chase out and see that it is, Michael's son that witnessed this murder. Now, at first you think, okay, it's Michael's son, they're just going to forget about it, they're going to trust Michael, and just understand that Michael's not going to talk or say anything to anybody. But unfortunately, Looney's son thinks differently. And he sets up Michael in a way to try to get him killed. His father sends him to go talk to some people. And he gives Michael a letter to give to them and just says, hey, the old man told me to tell you to give them this letter. Obviously, that was not the case. It's a setup. And Michael does give him the letter, and he goes in unarmed to show him he's going there peacefully. And when he sees some kind of odd movements and behaviors, he gets alerted. He does kill the people he had just gone to, and he reads the letter and it says, kill, Sullivan and all your debts are cleared. So pretty much what he was saying was, hey, if you kill him, you're clear and free. And so obviously the guy was going to take that, but, Michael was ahead of the game and saw kind of some of the weird signs. But then at that moment, he realizes, oh no, my family's at home. If they try to kill me, what are they going to try to do to them? So he runs home and finds that his younger son, Peter, as well as his wife, were killed by Looney's son. And this is where the Road to Perdition kicks in. At this point, he wants to get his older son, Michael, to safety, and they're trying to go to Perdition, Kansas. But at the same time, he wants to get his revenge. And so they go to Chicago, they try to work out some deals with some other, heads of the families. And Al Capone even makes a couple appearances in here. Once he can't get their backing, their approval to do what he wants to do, he goes ahead and does it anyways. But to try to push them towards that conclusion that, hey, we gotta let him do his thing, he starts, going after their money and their banks. Because obviously he's worked for them. He knows where they hide the money. He knows which banks, what times, all that kind of stuff. And so he goes to the banks and he asks for Nitty's and Capone's money. And eventually, after hitting enough and getting enough of their money and really just becoming a nuisance, they realize it's not worth them keeping Looney's son in the fold. Now, eventually, they do give Michael the okay, and he goes and kills Looney's son, and it's all over. But unfortunately, there was a hitman sent after Michael, who does eventually kill him, but his son does get away. And at the end, you see kind of a twist. We obviously knew the son Michael was writing from the beginning. He's definitely gone completely different direction. He's become a priest, a father in a church. So overall, I do think the movie actually did this one justice. I actually had seen the movie before I had read this graphic novel. And so it was really quite interesting going through and reading it and just reliving some of those movie scenes. I mean, there's some really fantastic scenes in Road to Perdition. It's one of my old-time favorites. I definitely can't recommend that one enough. And I think overall, I would definitely give this an 8 out of 10. I think it's really well written. It kept me interested. It's a fast read, obviously. It's a graphic novel, so you're not going to be stuck all week reading it. Obviously, being a graphic novel, art plays a huge part in it, and the art is fantastic, I think. This one, when I was reading, just reminded me of that picture of the kid holding the sign that the Titanic had sunk. Obviously, some fantastic art pieces of Chicago skyline. You can actually see right here the Tribune Tower. And what I like about this is it's a reflection. So you actually see Michael looking through the window and reflecting. And I just think it's a beautiful, beautiful picture. Right here, if you look, you can actually see his father as well. And it's fantastic. I really can't say that enough. The artwork is superb. I mean, look at that. There's Capone. Every time Capone makes an appearance, it's really well done. Like, it looks like Capone. So, fantastic work. Again, some more of Chicago. And, like, I don't want to show too much, but, like, man, like I said, the pictures are just fantastic. You can really see and feel emotion. Here's another one with Capone. But like I said, you can feel emotion. You can see the characters mulling decisions or just intense and just focus looking at this picture. And even, you know, the picture's detailed there to a point. So great job. Great artwork. Definitely recommend. So yeah, overall, there's my breakdown. I really enjoyed it. It was a really fast read for me, and I can't recommend it enough. Like I said, I really enjoyed the movie, so that's something we'll have to talk about on the channel at some point in the future. But, you know, mafia stories in Chicago and just how it's shown from the perspective of this young child. And while you do see, like, what his father's doing, what he'll say is it's kind of a guesstimation of what he's heard and an amalgamation maybe even of what he's heard and what he's read and some of the facts when his father's away. So it's him kind of guessing what's going on. But I think it's a fantastic viewpoint, really unique. And for our first graphic novel on the channel, I think it was fantastic. Like I said, 8 out of 10. I can't recommend it enough, so go check it out. It's definitely not the longest read, but I think it's fantastic. But who knows, perhaps this week we'll try to give you another shorter read. But until next time, if you want more Cool's book reviews, click that link to your left. If you want to see more about what we're doing here at Cool's Paranormal, click that link to your right. And don't forget to hit that like and give us a subscribe. And let us know, what is your favorite graphic novel? And or do you have another graphic novel you'd like us to check out?